Okay, animation one. We're gonna do some sound effects. Simple, very simple sound effects in Animate or in Audition. Just to give you guys kind of a head start. But mostly, if I'm in Audition and I look at effects, I can see that there's just a ton of different effects, and we're not going to cover all of these things. That would be crazy. But we're going to go over some of the major ones that I think that you're going to need. Okay. So first, simple, very simple, reversing the a track. Okay, so I'm gonna go to wave track, and you can do this in multi-track or in waveform. But let's see what we got. Let's see, which one do I think? Oh, the bell donk. Let's play it and see what we got. Okay, so let's say that I wanted to play that in reverse to create some kind of like just a, I don't know, some sound effect. So if I go to effects and I go to reverse, right, it's going to reverse that entirely, just like playing backwards. So you can see how you can very simply create something that sounds like almost like you've seen a movie and something's getting very tense. I can create that sense of tension, like time-bending tension. In fact, I just watched a movie called Tenet that came out just this year, and I think they did exactly this in several scenes. So reversing sound. So let's try something else, like almost like a cat's meow. Now I warn you, this is a really, really creepy cat's meow. Let me put some stuff back that I was messing with. You ready? Here we go. This is why I don't like cats. That's creepy. Right? Creepy, creepy. Okay, so, but if I were to reverse that, again, effects, reverse. Let's see what it sounds like. Doesn't really sound much different, right? So it works on some things, not others. You kind of get a sense of like sounds, but like if I were to go back to this one that I really liked, it's kind of cool. So in my multi-track session that I have over here, let me get rid of that. I'm going to bring in that dong. Let's see. Now there's another thing I'm going to do, and I'm actually going to move this up here because I'll cover this in one. So stretching. So what if I wanted something not to play just in reverse, but I want to slow down or speed up sound? That's really important. And you have to have this little button right here clicked on, and it shouldn't be on natural or normally, and that's the toggle global clip stretching. Okay, so it needs to be blue, and then you're going to see these little white icons pop up. See how they pop up on your clip, and they'll pop up on all of your clips, and then you can then go there and you'll see you have a little clock, and if I stretch this way, it plays much slower. So as I'm playing at 400% the normal speed, so it's playing 4 times slower. And I don't think that necessarily sounds very good. Let's speed it up. Let's have it play at 50% the normal speed. So it's going to play twice as fast. Let's see. And maybe I can use that for something, right? So that is how you stretch speed in multi-track. Again, little icon right there, and then you can speed things up. Let's try our cat's meow over here. Let's see what that sounds like if we were to speed that up significantly. I'm also going to mute this track so it can't play, just because I don't want to hear this, because that's terrifying, right? So I'm going to mute this one. The other thing I could do is solo this one. So this one is the only one that I'll play. Notice that when I hit solo on this one, it grays out other tracks. So if I had another sound down here and I hit solo on this, it's going to gray out everything else. Okay, or the exact opposite, which is be to mute all other tracks. Okay, so let's see what this sounds like. And this is played at 400%, so 4 times slower. That's a very upsetting sound. Now, I could sit there and go, you know what, maybe I can make something out of this. Maybe I could learn to charge my computer, because that's really, really important. And Watch as I seamlessly plug in my computer as you don't even notice what I'm doing. And you're like, oh, he's so smooth. Thank you, man. All right, so maybe at this point, I put on this 400%. I'm going to knock that back a little bit more. And then I'm going to double click on this to open it up in the waveform. And then from here, maybe, let's see. I'm going to get rid of the very high frequency sounds. Remember, I turn on my spectral display, which is this one right up here. And that lets me see not just decibels, volume. Notice I got dB here for decibels, and that's the volume of sound. I want to mess with the hertz, which is the frequency of sounds. So very low frequencies, less than 1,000, ooh, very low frequencies. And then the higher frequencies, up here in the 10,000 range. Remember, where humans can hear up to about 20,000 frequency, which is somewhere right about up here, right? So I'm going to get rid of all of the upper level frequency by selecting it and just deleting. Let's see what it sounds like. And I'm going to get rid of even more. Actually, let's get rid of the super. No, let's keep the super low. And right now, I did not plan any of this stuff. I'm doing exactly what I want you to do. I just want you to experiment today. Okay, let's see. I'm going to take that now into multi-track. Cool. Let's see. Cool. And then I'm also going to stretch that out to see what that sounds like. Maybe if I were doing something with like a Coraline clip and I was trying to create something that was very creepy, almost this background ambient sounds, that would be kind of a cool thing to do. Let's try one more thing to this. I know I put over here echo, bells in town, but I'm going to try an echo on this. Let's see what that sounds like. Effects. And I'm going to go to delay and echo, and then echo. And it does exactly what you think it's going to do. It's going to add an echo to a sound. Let's see. Okay. Wow. So notice that I turned it on, right? And it's still there. But what if I didn't want it? Well, notice right over here, you're going to have a effects rack where I've turned on echo. And I can just easily just turn that off or just delete it by hitting the delete key. So let's go to effects. Let's go to echo again, one more time. And I'm going to choose one of these down here, and I'm going to choose Delicate Whispers. Now, you'll see a lot of these effects that I go to have this presets, and this is just people at Adobe who work there who came up with their own way of adjusting these variables and to create just different sound effects. So Delicate Whispers. Let's try it, see what it sounds like. So you can see how that could easily become something that is nightmare-inducing. But also you can see how you can start to take that normal sound of that cat meowing, maybe add some other things to it, some of these other effects, maybe mix it with a different sound, then you can come up with something that is very unique and creative and kind of adds tension to a scene. So let me delete what I've got so far. So I've done echoes. I've done how to reverse sound, how to stretch the timing of sound. And then there's a few other ones on here that I'm going to very quickly kind of go through. Stretch and pitch, distortion, pitch bender. Let's go back over to waveform. I'm going to open up this one. Let's see. The flanger. So I have, again, there's several of them. I'm going to go to flanger, and now you have a thing where you can see what it sounds like with it on, and then this is for looping the sound and then playing. So I'm going to play it. I'm going to turn it off. 4 with flanger on, right? Okay, so there are lots of different ways to adjust this sound. Let me let it reset here. you can get something that has a very synthetic sound to it with adjusting some of this stuff. Which, if I'm going to go back to Coraline, you could, the point where Coraline's thrown through the door into the other dream world, it may have this very echoey, synthetic sound to it because it's just this surreal environment. So play around with flanger. I think it's kind of a cool thing. Look at the presets for that. Distortion. Let's check out distortion. Oh, that is... That is down here under special. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to remove that one. That one, we're going to save that one for a different day. The last couple are for adjusting the pitch of sounds. Now, pitch is the frequency, high res, low res, high frequency, low frequency sounds. So if I were to go to pitch bender, right, and I'm going to play this. You can see how it's up here. You can see how it's adjusting not only the decibel level, but also the frequency to create this. And this one's called squirrely. You can adjust it yourself. You can do one of these here. I think squirrely is kind of a fun one to do. Let's do just winding up. If you are ramping up tension, this may be a really, really good one. That's kind of cool. All right. So that is the pitch bender. And then the last one that I wanted to go over is stretch and pitch. And then stretch and pitch will allow you to stretch, just like we did up here with stretching, slowing down and speeding up. That's what this is doing, while also adjusting the pitch of the sound. So I'm going to have it play at 100%. Let's see. Let's knock that down. Ooh. 0. And it should be pretty much exactly what the normal sound is, playing at 100% speed, 0% distortion to the pitch. But if I were to pitch up, probably a bit too much, right? Or pitch down. A little goes a long way when you're adjusting the pitch of a sound to pitch it up or down. Let's try a different track. I don't think this is the best one. Let's try the cat's meow, because that one has like kind of a range of frequency here. So stretch and pitch, 100%. When I said that's 0. And that is the normal audio, right? So let's pitch it down a little bit. So notice it's not as high pitch. I'm going to pitch it down just a little bit more. And let's pitch it upward. And I could also, how about we pitch it down while also slowing it down. Oh, actually speeding it up, sorry, 50%, right. Let's slow it down to, yeah, cool. Let's see. All right, let's do something wacky. Let's do pitch up, slow down. And you can see how you can go too far with it too quickly, right? But that's kind of a fun one to play with. But mostly today I wanted you guys just to play around with it, see what you can create. The only other one to really talk about is reverb, and then reverb is the sounds of echo within a room, okay? So you can talk about whether you're trying to make your sound come like it's coming out of from a regular room or out of a megaphone or loudspeakers or whatever. So play around with reverb. Again, that adds like echo to make it sound like you're speaking in a different environment, the way you really were recorded within. Or to take reverb out, if you were in a room, there's a lot of reverb and echo. You can also kind of take that out of sound. So Anyway, those are kind of the major ones. Play around with those. By the end of the class, show me what you create. Bring some stuff over to multitrack, mix them together, do some funky stuff to it. It doesn't need to sound good, but I want you just to learn how to do it. Okay, thanks so much.